Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell, my voice sounds a bit funny. It's a bit hoarse because I actually am still recovering from COVID, which has been kicking my butt for the last like 2 weeks, something like that. Anyway, today I will be showing you the brand new Jurassic World Dominion Therizinosaurus by Mattel. It is called the sound slashing Therizinosaurus, and it is quite obvious why. We'll have a look at that later, or have a good listen to that later. At first, I didn't really want to get this figure because I'm not a really big fan of Therizinosaurus in general. It's just personal preference, I guess. I really like the big carnivore theropods. That's my thing. It's my jam. But I saw the toy in Smith's and it was in stock. And honestly, I think this might be one of the most appealing toys that I've seen in a while. It's beautifully sculpted and it's got some really, really nice colors too. So, you know, even if it was really expensive, it's like £42 over here. I thought I'd just get it because it's really pretty. From the renders I've seen of the film, I think the toy might actually look nicer than the actual design that they went for in the movie. I'm not too sure why. I still need to see the movie, obviously, so I don't know. I'll see when it comes out. But it is actually really, really striking in person. Anyway, the box design is pretty much the same. It's a standard box design as we've seen by now by Mattel for the new Dominion line. So unboxing this, we can actually have a good look at the sculpt and the paint apps and everything else. Now, Therizinosaurus in real life has got these massive claws. Although it was a herbivore, I believe. I think the general consensus now is that it's a herbivore or a omnivore, I think. But it's got these really weird proportions. It's got a really big pot belly, gigantic hands, a small head, a really long neck. It just looks really unique. Now, I was gonna try and record the review right now, but yeah, this thing is it's super noisy.
Shh. Oh my, I need to take your batteries out.
Anyway, so this is the head sculpt. It is honestly so pretty. It's just jam-packed with details. And as you can see, it's got teeth inside as well as a beak, and the inside of the mouth is really nicely sculpted, and just look at everything, it's just covered in feathers and it's so pretty. It's got some really nice skin wrinkling under the throat, and the top part of the whole figure is pretty much covered in feathers, and they're sculpted beautifully. They are not panaceous feathers, they're more like, it looks more like some sort of fur, like dino fuzz, I guess, but it looks really thick. And you get more panaceous feathers on the arms and on the tail. Most of the figure is made of hard plastic, but some parts, including the tail, are actually quite rubbery, which is nice. Something about adding rubbery bits to a solid figure makes it feel so much more expensive and good quality, I think. It feels like a nice toy, you know? So the front claws are actually rubbery too. Obviously, you don't want children hurting themselves. But this thing is packed with articulation. Most of it is connected to the gimmick, but the head actually swivels around like so. It's all really smooth joints. Also, the jaw articulates too, but it isn't posable. It's connected to the gimmick. It also has articulation in the arms, which are posable. The arms aren't connected to any sort of gimmick or button or whatever, so you can pose them however you want, which is super nice. You can pose them up and down, side to side, even with pronated wrists if you want. They are kind of connected to the action feature, which we'll have a look at later. Also, the legs are articulated too, and they articulate individually, which is nice. Mattel seems to like limiting the articulation of the bigger figures. They articulate in and out and backwards and forwards, as well as knee joints. Now, by moving the tail side to side, it moves the front part of the torso, including the neck and the head and the arms. You have the Jurassic logo on the bottom left foot, and the scan code is not on the feet anymore. It is actually on the back of the figure, which we'll take a look at later. Now let's have a look at the action features. which are connected to some sound features too. Now you activate the features by pressing the button on the tail, and you get these cool sound effects. Also, by tilting the tail side to side, we get some slashing sound effects too. This toy, I think, is an absolute nightmare for parents because this thing doesn't shut up at all. Even with the minimum amount of movement, or you just touch the figure, its sound effects go off so easily, man. This is a massive downside of this toy, unfortunately, so I take the batteries out on mine. So if you pull out this tab right here, you can see the Jurassic logo, and there we go. There's your scan code. Let me zoom in on that for you, so if you want, you can scan it in too. The colors of this toy actually remind me a lot of the male Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 3 because it's quite similar. It's even down to that white stripe on its side. It's got red on the top, it's got bluish purple, I think, on the rest of the body, and then on the underbelly, we have a nice sort of teal green. And the toe claws aren't painted, which for the price of this toy, I certainly would have expected the toe claws to be painted. I really like this toy, except for the sound effects. They're really loud and they go off super easily, but it is honestly such a beautiful figure. I gotta recommend it.
Hey, sick merch is available on Redbubble. We have t-shirts, mugs, water bottles, and other cool stuff, but that's not all. On my Etsy store, you can find my rubber saws as well as signed prints. So, what are you waiting for? Just go and click the links in the description. I would like to give a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. Seriously guys, your support really does mean the world to me, as it helps me do what I love for you. You help me buy materials, and most of all, you give me a helping hand with improving the quality of the content of my videos. Even if it's just a small donation, every little helps.